Alright guys, in this walkthrough we're going to go over the fitment on the car. That's going to include the wheels and tires, suspension, and brakes. So the lug nut key for the Raise Formula FN2 lug nuts will actually take either a 19mm socket, the same as 3/4 inch, or a 21mm. You can see it'll fit two different sizes here. So 21 on the inner, 19 on the outer. Alright, first let's go over the wheels. I'm running the Volk Racing 21A. These are a one-piece forged wheel. They are 5x120 and 18x10.5 plus 22 offset. They come with the L lip. So if you go on the Raise Wheels website, you can see all the off-the-shelf specs that they make, along with which lip and face it'll come with. You can also see which center caps it'll take. These are the flat type Raise center caps that will fit on a lot of their wheels. I'm running Yokohama Advan Neova AD09, which are the successor to the AD08R. I love the AD08R as a street tire, and the AD09 is doing even better. It's got good wet traction, really good cold, and of course hot traction. I tracked on these at Atlanta Motorsports Park. I'm still waiting on another sponsored set of wheels from Raise, and those will be getting the Advan A052 tires in the same size, 295/35. The old Saga S Plus I was running were 18x10.5 plus 15, so it had 7mm of more poke. And on those I was running the AD08R in 295/30, so a little bit less sidewall. I wanted to go Meteor setup this time, and I actually love that I went 295/35. It fills the wheel gap more, and it also raised the car a little bit. It doesn't appear like that because there's less wheel gap, but it actually raised my front splitter, so I have more clearance. For hub rings, I'm using the Project Kicks. So for brakes, I'm running the Project Mu FS6, which is a forged 6-piston caliper with their 2-piece rotor, and they're slotted. These are the 380mm rotor. They offer it in 350 or 380. Fitment was an issue. I was nervous if the 21As would clear, but luckily they do. The big brake kit did come with the Project Mu brake lines. So this big brake kit typically came with the Project Mu Type NSC pad, which is a street pad. Gave off very little dust. I think the maximum no dust pad is the Type PS. I did try tracking on the Type PS with the OEM calipers and upgraded Project Mu rotors. So after a couple laps, I was getting some vibration in the pedal. It was getting soft. I swapped out the NSC for the Project Mu HC Plus, which is their high carbon pad, and they're more for street and track. And these things are amazing. They had zero fade, zero issues all day on the track. I ran 3 20-minute sessions back to back to back, and I had no issues with brake fading. I do see I'm getting some little small chips and stuff. It's probably from rocks getting in between the wheel. Because the clearance is like so small with the 21A, so any debris that gets in there is probably going to damage the caliper paint. But, you know, that's what these things are made for, you know. There was no point in doing a big brake kit just to drive around the street. I mean, look at my side skirts, guys, getting blasted by rocks and stuff from track days and highway pulls. For brake fluid, I run the Project Mu G4 335 fluid. It's got a higher boiling point than the Motul RBF 660s. I decided to try it out, and I really like this brake fluid, so I'll stick with it until I need to swap it out. And what's cool is you can actually tell when it needs to be swapped because it goes from green to clear in the reservoir. So in the engine bay, I am running the Cusco strut bar with their quick release system. And this thing is awesome. If you need to work on your battery or get to your fuel system, you can literally just pull this out like this and then unscrew one end. Unbolt the other end and then just lift the strut bar off. So up top you have the dampening adjustment by turning this. You have your camber plate to adjust the front camber. I run titanium bolts for these struts. Some stuff you can't really see because of the underbody skid plate include the Cusco front power brace, spoon, front and rear rigid collars, Cusco center power brace, and Cusco rear power brace. I also swapped the rear sway bar to Cusco. I have the front sway bar, but I didn't install it yet because it requires dropping the entire subframe. So when I go to replace the clutch or something like that, I'll do the front sway bar along with it. So previously I was running the spoon springs, and those give you a 0.8 inch drop. But now I'm on this set of Varis coilovers. They were made in conjunction with Spirit, and these things have been amazing on the track. As far as height goes, I've got it almost maxed out. Maybe a 1/4 inch drop from the maximum for these. And of course, I've got the air cancelers that came with it for the active dampening suspension. Without these, you'll get a light on your dash. For the rear, I run the same setup as the front. It's a squared setup, and the beauty of running a squared setup is you can actually do a legit rotation and you get more life out of your tires. Alright, in the rear, I'm running the Paragon 2-piece rotors. These are a 350mm kit for the rear of the Type R. They come with new brackets for the calipers to push them out. They have an anodized finish. So on the rear, I'm running the Project Mu Type HCR3. These are a Hypercarbon Plus pad, and they perform amazing. You can see the rear power brace. You can see the Cusco rear sway bar right here. Of course, you've got the springs for the Varis coilovers. So these are set about a 1/4 inch from the lowest setting. Here's a look at the Varis coilover. And I run the same dampening front and rear, so these are, I believe, on the 18th setting right now. I'll crank it up to 20 stiffest when I'm on the track. And if you look closely here, you can actually see the spoon rigid collar. For rear camber adjustment, I do have the SPC rear camber arms. On the inside, I'm running the Cusco D1 chromoly 6-point roll cage with harness bar for some added rigidity and to be able to run the 4-point harness. It is in a round dash cage, so you don't have to cut into the dash. You're still able to seat 4 people with this cage, so that's why I opted for it. It was padded and wrapped in Alcantara, but I suede it. All the hardware was swapped to titanium hardware, and the only way to really tell if it's the chromoly steel version and not the standard Cusco Safety 21 steel is by lifting the carpet a little and seeing the blue mounting plates. So that's it for now for wheels, tires, and suspension. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.